Good day everyone. I'm Lelani M. Kumos. My report is all about writing job specification. Under this is the job evaluation, the continuation of report of Sir Gennard Muyet. Writing job specifications. The job specifications takes the job description and answer the question what human traits and experience are required to do this job well. It shows what kind of person to recruit and for what qualities that person should be tested. The job specification may be a separate section on the job description or a separate document entirely. Writing job specifications for trained employees is relatively straightforward. For example, you want to fill a position for a trained bookkeeper or trained counselor or programmer. In cases like this, your job specifications might focus mostly on traits like length of previous service, quality of relevant training, and previous job performance. Thus, it is usually not too difficult to determine the human requirements for placing already trained people on a job. But the problem are more complex when you're filing jobs with untrained people. Here you must specify qualities such as physical traits, personality interests, or sensory skills that imply some potential for performing the job or for having the ability to be trained for the job. For example, suppose the job requires detailed manipulation in a circuit board assembly line. Here, you might want to ensure the person's score is high on a test of finger dexterity. Your goal, in other words, is to identify those personal traits, those human requirements that validly predict which candidate would do well on the job and which would not. Identifying these human requirements for a job is accomplished either through a subjective, judgmental approach or through statistical analysis. For more understanding about the job specification should include the minimum qualifications employees need to meet. This could include education, experience, required skills, and more. Let us imagine that we are the head or principal of the school. If you are the one to hire an applicant, we should know that it is easy for us to hire that applicant if he or she is more experienced than to other applicant. Why? Because it is easy for us to face any problem in the future, especially in handling the pupils or students. We know that more experience, the better. Job evaluation. It is a systematic comparison done in order to determine the worth of one job relative to another. The purpose of this, the job evaluation is aimed at determining a job's relative worth. It is a formal and systematic comparison of jobs to determine the worth of one job relative to another and eventually result in wage or salary hierarchy. The basic procedure is to compare the content of jobs in relation to one another. For example, in terms of their effort, responsibilities, and skills. Suppose you know, based on your salary survey and compensation policies, how to price key benchmark jobs, and can use job evaluation to determine the relative worth of all jobs in your firm relative to these key jobs. Then, you are well on your way to being able to equitably price all the jobs in your organization. Compensable factors. These are two basic approaches you could use for comparing several jobs. First, you could take a more initiative approach. You might decide that one job is more important than another and not dig any deeper into why in terms of specific job-related factors. As an alternative, you could compare the jobs by focusing on certain basic factors they have in common. And compensation management, these basic factors are called compensable factors. They are the factors that determine your definition of job content, establish how the jobs compare to each other, and set the compensation paid for each job. Some employers develop their own compensable factors. However, most use factors that have been popularized by packaged job evaluation systems or by federal legislation. For example, the Equal Pay Act focuses on four compensable factor: skills, effort, responsibility, and working conditions. As another example, the job evaluation method popularized by the Hay consulting firm focuses on three compensable factors: know-how, problem solving, and accountability. The compensable factors you focus on depend on the job and the method of job evaluation to be used. For example, you might choose to include the compensable factor of decision making for a manager's job, which might be inappropriate for the job of assembler. Identifying compensable factors plays a central role in job evaluation. In job evaluation, each job is usually compared with all comparable jobs using the same compensable factors. An employer thus evaluates the same elemental components for each job, and it's then better able to compare them. For example, in terms of the degree of skills, effort, responsibility, and working conditions present in each. For more understanding, the job evaluation is separate from performance reviews and is intended to evaluate the job rather than the employee. Companies use four job evaluation. Examples for evaluation is job classification, job ranking, point factors, and factors comparison.